Hey, everybody. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this whole Covington Catholic High School fiasco, because I really do think it's going to have a lot bigger impact than people realize. Coming on the heels of the Kavanaugh hearings and the obvious media smear campaign against Kavanaugh, and then this BuzzFeed fiasco where BuzzFeed basically manufactured a completely false story about Donald Trump that they had to retract, and that all the media rushed in to try and jump on the bandwagon, only to be embarrassed to find out it when Mueller basically repudiated the entire story. So I think this Covington Catholic High School thing is exactly like that, and this kind of struck home with me because I was just in Washington D.C. I was researching my book. I've got a new book coming out on the Lincoln assassination, and when I was there, just like a good tourist, I went to the Lincoln Memorial, and I saw exactly schools just like the Covington Catholic High School thing. Big busloads of high school kids get bussed in, and they go to the Lincoln Memorial, and there's demonstrators and everything. And so I was right in that scene. So when I first heard this story, it just didn't sound right to me. And then I quickly looked up when I saw the second videos that revealed what actually happened, and it was just so disheartening to see. Just all the major media, including the New York Times, and especially all the conservative media that jumped on the bandwagon and tried to virtue signal and condemn these kids for basically just standing there and doing nothing, just being kids when this Indian activists got right in their faces. I just found it absolutely repulsive. You know, the Bill Kristols of the world and National Review and all these fake conservatives that wanted to outdo themselves in making points on these poor kids. It just really disgusting. Of course, I was especially disgusted, like many people, by the way the Catholic diocese responded to this, and the Catholic high school where these kids went. They were quick to wanted to outdo everybody else in condemning their actions without bothering to find out for themselves what actually happened. They just wanted to. The Catholic Church has been so traumatized and emasculated by the sexual abuse crisis, the legitimate sexual abuse crisis, that now with any whiff of scandal, they'll throw their own mothers under the bus lest they be sued. So, but the good news in all of this, and I just want to spend a couple seconds to talk about this, is I think this is basically going to red pill middle America big time. And coming on the heels of Kavanaugh and BuzzFeed and all these other media scandals, I think the horrible truth is the media in the United States really is revealing itself to be not just partisan, but an actual arm of the progressive left. And that's going to backfire big time in the 2020 elections. I think the more the Democratic Party veers to the left and reveals themselves for what they really are, and the more the media really reveals that they are not neutral journalists whatsoever, they are basically the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, that is going to leave middle America, normal, sane, centrist Americans, including many Black people, I think, and many Hispanic people, to vote for Donald Trump and the Republican Party in 2020. And I saw this, I'm old enough to remember. I was just a kid then, but I remember in 1968 when the Democrats went on the rampage. And by the time I got into the 70s, when I was old enough to think about these things, the Democratic Party would support domestic terrorist groups like the Weathermen and the Black Panthers and Angela Davis, and talk about, offing the cops in America and all that. And the more they went that way, all that happened was they elected Richard Nixon in a landslide as president, because America does not want this extreme left-wing ideology foisted upon them. And Bill Clinton tricked America into thinking that the Democrats were actually centrist John F. Kennedy type Democrats, when the baby boomer generation had long ago abandoned that kind of a program, and now are basically hard left-wing progressive activists. And the more they reveal who they really are to middle America, ordinary, sane Americans, the more they're going to drive the country into the arms of the Republican Party and Donald Trump, which is a shame. I mean, it's not a shame. I actually think it's going to be a good thing. But, the Democrats do have a legitimate role in our society in raising issues of poverty and so on. If they could do it in a way that's not out and out Stalinist, they would probably have a role to play in American politics. But the more they adopt this extreme left-wing ideology that was on display in this absolute hatred that they evinced for these Covington Catholic high school kids, just because they were young white males who dared to wear MAGA hats, since they're willing to go like that and reveal who they really are and just how much hate there really is, and how much hate, absolute hate, exists in these Hollywood celebrities and these fake conservatives like Bill Kristol, and in publications like National Review and the New York Times. The more they reveal that, the more they're going to drive people in the arms of Donald Trump in 2020. So that's the good news, is that this is going to backfire big time. The more they do these stunts like the Kavanaugh hearings and Covington Catholic High School media smear, the more they're helping to elect Donald Trump. So congratulations, liberals. You've done one for the Donald. Anyway, thanks very much. If this is your first time on this channel, please subscribe and ring the little bell, or click the little bell button so you'll know when I upload a video. And thanks very much. Talk to you later.